There are other obstructions we need to consider very carefully when selecting our field, and those are power wires or telegraph wires. These are power wires. They tend to run straight across a field, taking the most direct route. They generally have 3 wires and sometimes, as here, have a spur off in another direction. They can be tricky to see from the air, and many times it's not the poles that are the first thing that you spot. The farmer can't always get in close to the poles with spraying or sowing machinery, and quite often there is a bare patch around the base or a circular pattern around the poles. Of course, knowing where the wires are in a crop field, if we are not going to land in it, is of little use unless, if we can pick out the lines of the poles, we can sometimes work out how they may affect the field we are interested in, because power wires can be very difficult to spot in a grass field. Remember, it's not the wires you're going to see until the very last minute, it's the poles or evidence of the poles. If you can see a line of poles, you can avoid the wires. If you can't see the poles, you won't see the wires. Sometimes power wires or telephone wires are supported by poles which are hidden in hedgerows or trees. It's common for wires to run along the sides of the roads, especially telephone wires. If you are approaching over a road, assume there are telephone poles. Even if you can't see them, assume that they are there. If you attempt to approach through a gap in the trees or bushes, or low over a road boundary, there is a real danger in the wires that you cannot see. Flying under them at the last minute is not an option. Flying through them can be fatal. Around the end of May, beginning of June, the crops have really finished their growth stage. They are as tall as they are going to get, and from now on they will gradually change colour. Barley will start to turn a lighter shade of green as it gradually ripens. We have to be careful, as some strains of barley can look a lot like newly cut grass from certain angles and from a distance. As we get closer, however, and fly around the field, we can notice the tractor wheelings, and they always point toward it being a crop field. Wheat will become initially dark green in colour as it grows its last flag leaf and then the head. It will begin to turn a lighter green and then ripen a little later than barley. As the season progresses, the fields become uniform in colour with distinct tractor wheelings. Some fields may show storm damage where powerful gusts have flattened the crop. At this time of year, June into July, when crop is too long before the harvest, suitable landing fields can be hard to find. We are mainly focusing on grass and pasture fields, and, depending on where you are, these can be tricky to spot. It pays to start looking earlier and higher. By late July, early August, depending on where you are and what the weather has been like, cereal crops are ready for harvest. They have turned into a golden colour and are relatively dry. It is important that the crop is dry when it is cut, so in fine weather the combines will be working dawn to dusk and beyond to gather in the crop.